Welcome back to another boss fights ranked video. If you haven't seen one of these videos, it's a new series that I started where I take a look at specific Crash characters and rank all of the boss fights that they've had across the series. I'll leave a link below to the first two videos, but today we're taking a look at N.Gin boss fights. Remember, this is my own personal ranking. You can let me know if you agree or disagree with it down below, and feel free to make your own list as well. Number 9, Crash of the Titans. If you've seen my review of this game, you'll know I've always disliked most of the bosses in this game because they hardly even pass as bosses. To defeat N.Gin here, you have to attack 3 targets. That's it. 2 of them are on ground level, so you can hit them right away. And then you need to use a Titan with a ranged attack to hit the last target. This is the same gameplay of the regular levels, you're just doing the same stuff. Fighting Titans and minions, shooting targets. I like N.Gin in Titans, but this is not it, Chief. You are not fighting N.Gin here at all. There's no signature rocket attacks or anything. It's just, you're just fighting Titans. At number 8, we have Crash of the Titans GBA. I'm not the biggest fan of this game, but at least you actually get to fight N.Gin in this one. Titans GBA gives you so many ways to take out bosses quickly, which is good because they all have devastating attacks that can kill you quickly. Like seriously, if you're not careful, they will just demolish you. In this fight, the game gives you a bunch of explosive barrels and crates, which basically depletes his entire health bar. If that doesn't kill him, you can just beat the shit out of him while he's down to finish him off. It's very simple, but you at least get to have a physical altercation. Fist fight, a good old fist fight with N.Gin here. Also, can I just say the Crash dialogue boxes in this game have so much meme potential. Like, what is this? There's so many of them as well. I can see. I encourage people to play the game just to make memes from the dialogue that Crash has. At number 7, we've got Crash of the Titans DS. The DS wins when it comes to best N.Gin fight in Titans games. Don't get me wrong, that's not me trying to hype it up as if it's this insane boss fight, because it's not. He sends out Titans while running around the platform and you need to attack him while dodging the rockets raining down on the arena. Out of the 3 different Titan games, this is the best you're going to get for an N.Gin fight. At 6, we have Crash the Huge Adventure. A familiar boss fight for those of you that have played Crash Warped, basically the exact same thing but Game Boy Advanceified. You dodge his attacks and destroy the ship's weapons individually. I don't like this one as much though, mainly because of the depth of field. Sometimes it's a bit hard to see how close the projectiles really are to actually hitting you. But with it being a GBA game, I think it does its job as a good boss fight. The only thing is, all you get for beating it is a Coco jump scare. At 5, I've placed N.Gin's fight from Crash Twinsanity. This is more of a mini boss than anything. He doesn't even have like a visible health bar that you'd typically see in a boss fight. N.Gin is in his crow's nest being held up by like these 3 support beams, I guess. His main attack is rockets, which you can dodge by just running around the platform. And after that, he'll throw a TNT crate down at wherever you're standing. So the goal is to bait the TNT throw next to the support beams holding up the platform. Do that 3 times and the whole arena will collapse and you'll have to escape Rusty Walrus, which is honestly the real boss fight here. I don't know, I like this as a mini boss after going through N.Gin's battleship, but I can't really rank it any higher because there's no increased difficulty or different patterns with the rockets, no new attacks. It's just the same thing 3 times in a row. Could have been better, definitely. At number 4, we've got Crash Bandicoot 2. This is where we get into best boss fight territory. I really like this one. You have to destroy the weapons on N.Gin's ship by throwing Wumpa Fruit at them when they're vulnerable to attacks. And I've got to say, if your ship can be destroyed by Wumpa Fruit, you've really got to reconsider what you're building this thing out of. N.Gin shoots rockets down, which are very easy to dodge. It shows you where they're going to land, and in the original it shows you the shadow. He shoots homing rockets that come in from one side, lasers, and towards the end destroys the platforms that you're standing on. Reason it's ranking here at number 4 is because it goes on for a bit too long. The weapons take quite a bit of damage to destroy, and they only open up for attacks for 1 second at a time sometimes. A bit longer when he's actually firing the rockets, but still, it feels like it drags on a bit because it's really not difficult. You're just spamming Wumpa Fruit, waiting for the weapons to open up for attacks. Despite that, it's definitely leagues better than anything else we've had on the list so far. Number 3, Mecha Bandicoot from Twinsanity. I didn't know whether or not I wanted to include this on the list because it's like a part 2 after defeating Cortex, but I am because N.Gin is definitely right there piloting this thing trying to kill Crash, so I think it counts. Not just that though, but this part of the boss fight is so cool. It's a gigantic Bandicoot mech. It's got a chainsaw, rockets, it shoots like plasma blasts out of its nose. They need to find a way to bring this back into a new Crash game. I don't care how, Just bring it back. Not to mention the way it just pops out of nowhere as a phase 2 when you beat Cortex is the last thing you expect. You beat Cortex and then...
Meet your brand new, hydraulically operated, twin brother, Mecha Bandicoot! What was that?
Dr. Cortex, you are magnificent!
Of course I was, you fool! Initiate missile attack!
The music as well, everything about this boss fight was so good for a boss that you face only 10 minutes into the game. Coming in at number 2, and this is also technically going to give away the number 1 spot as well, but Crash Bandicoot 4. Crash Bandicoot 4 has some solid boss fights, so I think it might rank quite high in these videos. But in this fight, you go up against N.Gin and his weapon of mass percussion. It's not difficult at all, but it's so fun and satisfying to go through it without getting hit. You're on a conveyor belt, essentially, with a bunch of discs flying at you, and he's got 4 hit points. Each point of health that he's got requires you to hit the machine 3 times by spinning back these minions that occasionally get sent down the conveyor belt. When you hit it 3 times, it malfunctions and then you can go up and attack N.Gin. I also like how you get to use Lanny Lolly here as well, even if it is only to just climb up and actually reach N.Gin. Also like how platforming, you know, the thing Crash is kind of known for, is incorporated into this boss. It's a brilliant early game boss fight, but not number 1, because at number 1, we have the Crash Warped N.Gin boss fight. Yes, it's from Warped. Lewis, you're just biased towards Warped. No, I'm not. It just has the best boss fight. Okay, let's talk about it. N.Gin is in his ship shooting a variety of weapons at you. Rockets, lasers, he's got a minigun. You have to shoot each weapon when they're vulnerable and destroy each piece of the ship separately. Kind of like in Crash 2, but they're vulnerable for a lot longer here. This fight is quite iconic in my opinion because the other Crash games have taken it as inspiration for their own fights. The Huge Adventure, like I said earlier, basically just reused the same fight, and the Wrath of Cortex from the 4th warp room in that game, the boss fight is basically the same thing but with crunch. You could say it got its general idea from Crash 2, but I mean traveling in a ship, it kind of made its own thing out of it and did it better. There's also a phase 2 where Power flies in and combines his own ship with Coco's, and then you repeat the fight again, but this time N.Gin's ship has new weapons and some of the projectiles coming at you take longer to destroy with the cannon. It's a really well balanced boss fight in my opinion. It's not like too easy to the point where you can just turn your brain off, but you have to be careful with where you're shooting, and you have to kind of make sure you're dodging all the rockets and making sure you're taking as many of them out as you can. It's really good, it's fun, it's the perfect length, it's not too easy, it's not too difficult. I just really like this one. You can let me know down below whether you agree or not, and whether you agree with the placement of all the other things that I've put on here. But that's my ranking, and this was a really fun one to make because N.Gin, again, he's got a lot of boss fights and a lot of them are pretty cool. Also, I'm not going to be counting Crash on the Run in these videos going forward because 1, they're all the same boss fights. They do different things, but you're really just moving left and right and jumping over obstacles. They're all generally similar. Because of that, they always are going to rank last place because they just can't compare. And another reason is that even if I wanted to go and experience them for myself and record some gameplay for the video, I can't because the game doesn't exist anymore. But that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here. And again, let me know your list down below.